Hey everyone, this is Jesse and we're playing Value Vintage today, a format that follows the vintage ban list with a $30 budget limit. Today I'll be playing through a league, 5 unknown decks emulating your normal Magic Online league. These players came from the Value Vintage Discord and are taking decks that they would consider for 1Ks. You can find a link to the Discord in the description. They share local events while also hosting online tournaments. Today's video is meant to be a redemption for a deck that I believe has real game in the format. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been working on this Eldrazi list and 3-0'd in the recent online league series. I brought this deck to the recent free 1K and went 0-3, 0-6 drop. Granted, I did play against very linear combo, and across those 6 games, I took single-digit turns total. So today's video will need to answer the question, is this deck real, or is it too underpowered? The deck plays 12 Typal lands, as well as Eldrazi Temple. Temple is arguably the most powerful budget land we have in the format, barring the Dark Depths package. Our goal is to curve out into our top end threats of Reality Smasher and Titan's Vanguard, while bridging the curve with Eldrazi Linebreaker, Val Aggregate, and Endless One. With our list, we get the Companion Gigantha. Our sideboard has additional tech Eldrazi of Wastegate Battle Mage, Thief of Existence, and Eldrazi Obligator. We also have generic hate pieces in Lantern and Sphere. Sphere is an important piece since we don't have many pieces to interact with fast combo. If you're looking for value vintage content, please consider liking the video and following the account, and let's get into the games. All right, we got our first match against, I'm going to say, I guess I'll say Blitz. I haven't seen them really yet in the Discord, so I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be running into. But we'll start here. This hand is really close. I think I'm actually going to... Wow. We do get a draw, and we have double Temple. So I think we're going to try keeping it. Just because any 3 or 4 is really strong here. So we'll see what they have going on. All right, so we'll start with It That Heralds the End. And then we'll see what they have for us. Alright, so I'm kind of BlackGaak. Maybe this is Inquisition. If it's Inquisition, that's huge for us because it misses. Nice. So now they do see our hand. They see that we don't have a whole lot of pressure, but we can get this Titans out turn 4 at the least. And we could play pretty much any Eldrazi we draw. Like a Linebreaker here is huge. Okay, and this one's actually really good. So here we're gonna so we're gonna play a Endless One for 4, so it'll come in as a 5/5. So our next turn, if we draw a threat, we just cast it. There's nothing that we can't cast off the top. And then our... Oh, Bone Shards, okay. So some kind of... Maybe this is like Hogak. Maybe it's just a more graveyard-based... Okay, that is the only thing I think we can't play. So what we'll do now, because we can't cast either of these... So this turn's a bit slow, but that's okay. They're not pressuring us a whole bunch. So next turn, if we draw like another Herald next turn, that'd be really good. Yeah, this definitely looks like a Hogak build. Fortunately, they're hitting a lot of lands. Okay, so this doesn't look like Scam Grief. Or let me phrase that. It doesn't look like a Grief that's getting scammed. It's kind of tough because these are both really powerful. Jigantha's kind of the worst card here, and it's still fine as like a 5/5. And the nice part is, no matter what they take, our curve is still fine if they take that. Yeah, so we could still play Chrysalis next turn. Okay, they seem like easy attacks. We won't block. And this is... Okay, so he can bring a creature back from the graveyard to the hand. So it looks like a Grief or a Bronco. So don't really care about either one of those. Ooh, that's a pretty sweet hit. So I think the play, just because this will make 2 1/2 blockers, which is pretty strong. I think we're gonna... play Chrysalis. We are 1 mana off of being able to just cast Reality Smasher too. And this is a safe attack. Like I said, he could pick up Bronco or Grief, but I don't really care about that because if he takes Giganta, we still have Reality Smasher and vice versa, so we still have a lot of pressure available. Yep. 1 card in hand. Going to pick up the... I'm assuming the Grief, maybe Bronco. Okay, so he picks up the Bronco. We do outsize it pretty well, so still feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Okay, there's the Bronco. Okay, that's an easy no block. We don't want to find him like a Hogak or something for free. Okay. What does this look like? So I think this one is just... We're gonna hold this endless one because we don't need to play it, I think. Because we could play it for 2 or 4. But I already think we're kind of ahead on board pretty well. Excuse me. So we'll get in... I think we just get in like this. Because now, yeah, he goes to 9. I think we will cast the endless one now. We'll just cast it for 2. Comes in as a 3/3. And I think in most instances, we're probably pressuring lethal next turn. Because the BlackGaak can block. He's not going to want to attack with Stitcher Supplier. Takes 3 to saddle, so too risky to attack with. I don't think we want to do this just because we don't want Spy Master's Vault to get turned on. We can easily take the 2. Do we want to do that? I don't think we need to. Well, I guess there's really no reason not to. Because if he... Is this bugged? It looks like that might be bugged. I floated the mana and didn't really work right. We didn't really have anything else to do with it anyway, so it's not like that's a huge deal, but it's kind of awkward. I'm totally over tapping for some reason. Could have just attack all. Alright, we're gonna get that one. So it definitely looks like Hogak. That will bring in Soul Guide Lanterns. We will bring in... I do like Obligator if they are on Hogak. We didn't see it, but I would assume that they're just like mono black Hogak. The Battle Mage is only good into Hogak. Actually, I don't hate it. So what don't we like? I don't like these Reaver Drones. Reaver Drone is just a little bit awkward into the Stitcher Supplier and the Butler. We like Trample. We like being able to hit over. I kind of don't like Chrysalis. And Aggregate's huge. Bears, actually. These are probably actually worse than Chrysalis. Just because they have a lot of fodder. We'll try it like this. Revealed Jeggy Hill. Alright, so we have a turn 1 Soul Guide Lantern, no Temple, but this hand's pretty great otherwise. Alright, turn 1 Grief. So he's going to take our Soul Guide, I would imagine. I'm guessing no scam elements. We didn't really see any game 1, and then this game they're kind of just doing this without even playing a land. Let's see what they hit. Ooh. Card is cool. So just because we have Line Breaker and then the Herald that grows it, we are going to play an Endless 1-for-1. Because with this curve, you go Endless 1, and then Line Breaker, and then even if these two don't get to attack into what they have, Line Breaker just pushes through a lot more damage. He's got the Butler. Languish, okay. So something that we need to keep in mind for there. This counts creatures? Yes. So we could actually press into this board since the only creature he's either going to bring back Grief or Huskburster. He's got time. Huskburster's going to need a lot more time before it can actually be cast. He's 2 lands off Grief still. So picking up Grief would mean eating another card. He doesn't have a whole lot going on. So we won't block here, and then next turn after we play the Herald, we can attack in, and then maybe he picks up one of those, and we're still fine. Oh my god, they're endless. The nice thing here, too, is assuming that our Line Breaker is living for a while, he's going to make these endless ones really smack. All right, let's see if he picks up the Grief. I'm assuming Grief is the target. Okay, so it is the Swarm. It's still going to be a while till I can cast it. Maybe the thought is this Stitcher Supplier is dying soon. Because it's 8 mana. Right now it would be 6 mana. Okay, there's another Grief. Okay, it was fodder for another Swarm. It was fodder for another Grief, I should say. So we're losing our Line Breaker here. Maybe we get one off the top. Okay, not attacking. Not attacking is interesting. Force doesn't really do anything. So we're going to start with just attacking with Endless One. Okay, no blocks. We'll play this guy for 3. And even next turn, if we just draw another land's unfortunate, then we get a 5/5 Endless One then. None of this matters if he gets a Hogak, though. I'm assuming he's playing Hogak, but he hasn't seen one. Okay, Bone Shards. There's the Hogak. Okay, so looks like we're getting gacked here. This is going to be a situation where we're going to need to build up our board. We have time. Right, that's not it, though. So here, I just want to pick up Giganta. We want to be able to kind of start amassing size here. Because these can block kind of these dorky smaller creatures, but Hogak is going to be what is a bigger challenge. We could trade Giganta and Endless One into it. It's not really what we want to be doing, but it is a line. We will not block. It does have trample, yep. It's hidden there right at the bottom. Right, that's his whole turn, so it's good for us. Okay, huge draw. That buys us a little bit of time. So we'll do this. And does this have any other targets? It's exile target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. They don't control any. Okay, so we want to cast with this kicker. So we will pay blue. I still don't think we want to attack here because we want to play the resource game, I think. We want to have him cast the we want to have him cast the Hogak again, lose cards in the yard, then we can deploy the Giganta. And then we're able to trade. Because once we get to a point where he doesn't have a lot of cards in the yard, it's going to be hard for him to Hogak again. Temple's pretty solid. I don't think it's this turn that we want to Temple. I think it's next turn. Because, well, actually, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's still... If we had one more land, I think it'd actually be better to play the Endless One, because it would just go 1-for-1 with the Hogak. But now we can actually kind of chill with it back. Because if we top deck a land, or really even another Eldrazi Temple, now we have a 9/9. Alright, to me, this is an easy double block. If he has a trick, he has a trick. Doesn't have enough cards right now to bring it back. Oop. Connive's a cool mechanic. I'm glad that they put it in Modern Horizons. I think they're going to be able to... I think they know the last card in my hand's Endless One. Oh. Okay, so they're not. Okay, so that's pretty big. All right, so I don't think it's worth. I think this turn is just playing the big guy. If they actually swing out, we can make a play where we eat the Bronco, kind of trade with everything else, and then Herald, and then the Herald will be able to trade with the Hogak. I'm sorry, the Endless One will then be able to trade with the Hogak. So we're probably losing our Herald then, if they cast us, since they cast us from hand. Oh, wow. The Soul Reed. This probably changes the turn then. We'll see. Well, actually, let's see what they do. If he's doing this, I think I do have to double. I think this one's away from us at this point. He can connive for 3 on just another body. So he won't get to draw any actual cards, but he's doing it on the same creature. It being on the same creature is okay. Oh, he's Hogacking again, I'm assuming. This is probably a concede. Because I don't think we can beat both. Yeah, we'll just concede here. We're not getting it with Herald there. All right, do we want to do anything different? I don't think we want any of these cards. I think I'm fine where we're at. What's crazy about that game too is that if we're on the play, that hand, I don't think we can lose that game with that hand since we have the Soul Guide Lantern. So we're able to play it before the grief. And then I think our board of Endless Ones just is always going to be larger than what they have since we're able to just keep them off Hogak. So, pretty close one. All right, we'll be on the play. Reveal Jeggy Hill. Ugh. We're going to mulligan. One land just does not do it. We're really relying on our top decks, but I think this hand is very good. So we're going to put this basic forest on the bottom. It looks like they also mulliganed. We're still mulliganing. Okay, they're on a 6. So I'm going to actually lead off with Unclaimed Territory Soul Ring. The reason for that is if we draw the Chrysalis, we'll have access to the colored mana we need. If I go Eldrazi Temple on 1, then I can't. That. Soul Ring. So we're already down to 3 cards here. If they grief us or Inquisition, we're relying on our top decks for the rest of the game, which this hand already kind of does. You know, we're really relying on having really good mana to start. All right, so again, our Endless One. We can play nearly everything we draw. And worst comes to worst, if we don't really have anything going on, we do have the mana to pick up Giganta next turn, and then we will have the mana to play it on turn 3. So really just trying to fade Hogak this game. That's all they got going on turn 1. It's not terrible. Okay, Reality Smasher is huge. Bo Diggity. This is also huge because if the plan is like fodder into Languish, 1, probably don't have time due to the trample, and 2, Reality Smasher will live through it, so. Right, so there's the trigger for that, discarding a Grief. So they are going to pick up our Reality Smasher, but there are resources we can pick up Gigantha. Okay, so the last card they haven't cast yet. They are 1 card off of... Actually, no, not 1 card off of BlackGaak, I'm sorry. So I could just play this as a guy, but I think it's just way better here to pick up Gigantha. I guess we could do both. But I think it's going to be more important if they do get a BlackGaak, that we keep that for the bounce. Right, end step. All right. Ooh. I think we don't get greedy. I think we move the combat. Because we have the mana to be able to steal a guy. So even if they play a blocker, if it's just a 1/1 or a 2/2 or something, we're able to just take it and smash in. So I think this turn we'll just cast Jeggy Hill. Oh, cancel. All right, I think no matter what they do this turn, we're good. Because we have a way that if they get a card from our hand, we're able to remove a blocker in some capacity. I guess it's not technically lethal. If they take this, I'm left with this because there's only 7. Here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to cast this first. And then we're just going to do this for insulation to make sure that if they do have some kind of removal spell. Okay, all right, we got it. Sweet Mono Blacklist by Blitz. I think Game 2 really showed the power if you don't have Lantern. But we had a really powerful Game 3 that was able to get us the match. So GG's to them. All right, we have a match against Claymilton. I've played against them multiple times. Last time they were on... At the 1K, they were playing High Tide, so we'll see if that's what we're running into. This is a good hand. It's not super explosive, but... Oh, okay. All right, so not High Tide. What this is, at least, is a pretty good curve. No, Eldrazi Temple anywhere is huge for us. Eldrazi Temple still good off the top just because it does let us play Line Breaker this next turn. It's a Chain Lightning, a face. I think we're actually going to block here. We have enough creatures in hand. We don't want to get too low on life. Aggregate is huge and juicy. Let's go Ruins. So depending on what he does, we can actually just play Aggregate next turn. Flame Rift, jeez. Excuse me. So I'm gonna respect Burn Spell Fire Blast. It's a great draw. So what we'll do is we'll play this first. Now we can actually do this to this. Alright, so Bear can't block, but I would assume that if he had another Swift Spear that he would have cast it. Okay, Chain Lightning. So I think the most damage we go red. Almost played a endless one for 0 there. Target itself. Alright, so he has one card in hand. Just need to fade 6 damage. Alright, he has a Goblin God. We will block that. Nice, we got the forest. Alright, then this should be lethal. Green. Whoop. Actually, wait, cancel. So, cast, green, red. So if he has no responses, this is lethal. Okay, so he did have the Fire Blast, so that's huge. This should still be locked up because I don't know what they would have to deal 6 here, even if they have a blocker. Ooh, okay. Luckily, we still do have lethal. All right. Go to sideboard. So, what do we want against Burn? Wastecape isn't good. Thief might be okay just to have as like a large creature. We don't want any of these. Obligator might be fine for the race. But I think we just go bigger. Maybe it's like cut 2 Reaver drones, bring in 2 of these guys just for blockers. We'll try like that. Right, reveal Juggy Hill. This hand's a little slow. We're gonna mulligan. We're going to keep this one. It is pretty land heavy, but it does let us go turn 2 Lion Breaker, turn 3 Wumpus. So we'll bottom... I don't think we need both temples. Yep. Okay, that was a fantastic draw. I think unanswered, this is also a turn 3 kill. Yeah, so he's going to kill it. He's got a 1-lander too. Okay, so we might actually be able to just race. He'll have to play, like, defensive. We will name Eldrazi. So the plus side is if he uses the burn spell to kill Lion Breaker, then we do have Wumpus as just a huge blocker. Okay, and this one off the top. Alright, so if we attack with both... I don't think we need to attack with both. I think we just attack with this. Because I don't actually hate blocking with Lion Breaker here. We have Wumpus, we have Endless One in hand. He can use a burn spell on it. But what we don't want him to have is, like, Bolt, Fire Blast. Wumpus is just going to be bigger than everything else he's doing. It has trample, so you can't jump it. Yep. Yep. Okay, we got it. GG's to Clam there. It was a really good showing of Bird. We managed to fade lethal that one turn, but this is a really strong turn. This was literally our turn 3. Is what we had going on here, and we could have attacked him down for more. So, good games to him. All right, we are. Excuse me. We are in a match against Octopus with a Hammer, another player that I haven't really played against, so no idea what they're gonna present here. This hand is okay. It's a little slow because we don't have a 1-drop, but depending on what they're doing, we can play a bear on 2 if it's initiative. If they're a creature deck, I think we're going to keep it. If any of these are really just a 1-drop, then this hand is like a perfect curve. So I think when it's that close, and then there we get it. So Eldrazi. Some kind of rug deck. Oh, they have a companion. Yorion? Okay, I don't know what's happening, but I'm in. Wall of Blossoms is huge. We're not gonna hold this for the kicker. We're just gonna play it because it's evasive. No point in attacking. So they can attack over the wall there. Coiling Oracle. I think this turn we're gonna play Val Aggregate because then we present Line Breaker next. Ooh. That changes the plan. So the reason this changes is because we can go Line Breaker this turn. Next turn, Hasted Titan's Vanguard, so... So we will target itself. And we're going to attack with everything because he can trade the Coiling Oracle into this, but we don't lose out on too much. It's a really good start, though. I thought our hand was going to be a little bit slow. And this is just on our turn 3. All right, we're going to bait out. So if he has permission or a swords, it's kind of bad for us. It doesn't really seem like that, though. Gotta keep in mind that these both have trample, too. Resto, okay. This guy's list is cool. This is like... I have a buddy who would 100% sleeve this up. And so he's at 2. Needs a Wrath or like double swords. This looks like a Wrath. Yep, to populate. We do not draw a card because it is not a multicolored creature. So it's good to know that we're playing against Wraths. Ruins. Pick up Giganta. So now at this point, our game plan is just to get these last 2 points of damage in. Still has a lot of cards in hand, but we have still 2 more threats. Any Eldrazi off the top grows the aggregate. Thragtusk, okay. Thragtusk is pretty big. Alright, so we're not going to attack here, no point. Something I am kind of afraid of is like Restoration Angel. Maybe they have like Time Wipe or something. So not attacking. Makes sense. Line Breaker's pretty huge. All right, so I think we're gonna swing out here. Is it Resto? Yeah. It's pretty bad for us. Trades or blocks are probably... Oh, maybe not. So we still have 5, so not terrible. Yep. There's a lot of things we can draw off the top. Reality Smasher at any point here is also really good. This makes me feel like he either has a Wrath or has another Blink effect. Yeah, it's got to be a Blink effect. I'm doing this before combat to I don't know why this doesn't work. I'm doing this before combat so that way if we can force him to blink, we will. We have to attack here. If he has something, he has something. No point in not. Another resto, sure. Man, that's 3 restos in the top 20 cards. I don't know the rest of their hand, but it's probably trading the Thragtusk. Yep. Now you're like ahead on board. You have 9 power. I'm not actually sure that there's really a whole lot that we can draw here at this point. Dig. We'll probably concede there to the dig. Alright, so I like Obligators. Didn't see anything to want Thief. I think it's just these. Obligator gives us a haste threat and they can grab a blocker. They can, like, resto it. But then at least kind of lets us know what they're doing. Not a big fan of Bear here. Actually, Bear might be better than Chrysalis here. Just because we don't want to be blocking. They have sweepers. Bear can pick up a guy. If they end up playing a blocker, I would like to be on the play. I'd like to reveal Jeggy Hill. So it's like 4-color Yorion. Okay, I like this hand. We're going to keep. It's a small 1-drop, but we have 1-drop and the 2-drop. So we'll go Crossroads. A Temple here off the top also lets us play turn 2 Line Breaker, which is pretty crazy. Holy Ruins. Nope. We'll poke him for 1. Drew Soul Ring. If he has untapped White Source, then he could go Soul Ring with the Hinterland Harbor, White Source to populate. This is a game where we might actually get to Raminip Ruins. I didn't have the untapped White Source like we were talking about. He could have Resto, though. That's a pretty good draw. Alright, if he has Resto... I do like growing this. Because it can at least trade with the Resto if we attack in. We also are showing that he needs to do something because we have a lethal. So this is probably block here. Just trade it off, go to 4. Because you can block here, you go to 2. Alright, so he's a 4. We do have Raminip activation next turn. Yep. So once again, untap White Source. This could be a sweeper. We're also just like another like normal red source off of just doing like both. Yeah, this looks like a sweeper. Yep. Something off the top. Well, that plays. So now I have to have something that has more than 2 toughness to block unless he has a removal spell. Because we'll trample over for enough that we could Raminip Ruins the rest. This is awkward. So I think we're actually not casting that. I want to attack first just to see what their play is. Is it a Resto? Okay. It's a Resto. So that's what I figured that they were going to do. Mint and Boo. Oh, that's a great Obligator target. Because we still keep our guy. So I think at this point, I actually want to pick up... Because we don't have another red to do the Raminip twice. So we don't get a whole lot out of it. Was that a misplay then? Because if I Obligator just to Obligator... Yeah, I think that was a misplay. Alright, we're just going to try to play the guy. Alright, didn't have anything. So, I don't think I want to change anything. Obligator was okay there. We could bring in Thief for these Planeswalkers we saw, but I don't think that's good enough. We don't really have any reason we want to bounce anything. There's a lot of ETB, so I think we're just going to submit the same thing. Reveal Jiggy Hill. Oh, this hand is so close. Just literally any land. We were paid off. Paid actors. I think it's actually Wumpus. Is it Wumpus or a land? It's probably this forest. It's probably like this. Yeah, it's probably forest. Because worst comes to worst, if we don't draw another land, we just line breaker again. It's probably good enough. There it is. Moto's making me almost cast 0 mana endless ones. Alright, so attack for 7. Yep. So we might get hit by a Wrath here. If we do, it's fine. We can just play another line breaker or just the Wumpus on its own. He does have to have something, though, because this is actually one of the curves that ends the game. You go line breaker into Wumpus, and it's actually just lethal. Okay, so we have access to 4 mana. I don't really want to expose my other line breaker, just because if there is a Wrath or something here. So I think our play is going to be to just try to end the game here. If they have interaction, they have interaction. We have a lot more haste in hand. This looks like a counter spell. Okay, so if that's his intervention, that's okay. We will not pay. We'll grab this guy this time. That's the thing. We're still pretty ahead on board. He goes to 6. If he wipes the board here, a land off the top would let us do this, which is lethal. Okay, Thragtusk. Oh, if he's tapped down, we win. Oh no, we have to have a land. Have to have a land. Okay, don't have the land. I wish this worked, because I'm pretty sure this isn't going to work if I do it. So I think the play is to just do this. Oh, wait. Because I could do, even not sacking, I could do both of these. Give this haste and flying, and then we still have, yeah, I think that's actually a better play. So we'll do this. Because this should be lethal, because that'll trample over for 1. All right, nice, we got it. That was a sweet deck. I'm super into that. I wonder if they play like 4-color Omnath. If not, they totally should see if they could fit it in their budget. But I love all of this. This feels like it could beat nearly every fair deck. So sweet deck by Octopus. Really enjoyed it. All right, now we have a match against Hadel. We will reveal Jiggy Hill. This is most likely going to be a super linear combo deck. I'm going to keep this hand. So this lets us do Temple, Soul Ring, Endless 1-on-1. Actually, no, we can do Unclaimed Territory. So we're just shy of being able to play a Titans on 2. but if we top deck any 3 or 4 drop Eldrazi, we can play it. Alright, so if this is like Channel Mirror, alright, this looks like super fast combo, so this is probably this is probably Channel Mirror. If that's the case, there's a pretty good chance we're dead. It's probably shardless in the channel. And so I am going to F6 this. Yep, there's the channel. So while he's doing his thing, we're just going to kind of go through what it does. So the idea is you put Lich's Mirror, you eventually cast a bunch of spells, get a Lich's Mirror in play, get your storm count up, and then Lich's Mirror allows you to kind of restart. So you'll draw a new hand. You'll still have the channel active. So see, he's going to float actual colored mana, pay down. Then he's going to get the search for Lich's Mirror again off the Transit Mage. I'm not sure how many. One thing is that let's see. Okay, so he has Wish. So maybe this isn't the Boom Mobile list. They were playing Boom Mobile as the kill before. I think it's crazy that Lich's Mirror doesn't exile itself. Because now this allows them to kind of just find it nonstop. No matter how powerful our hand was here. Like, if we could have even turned 2 to Titan's Vanguard, it's not beating this. Where is it? Is there not a storm count yet? I'm just wondering what storm is at currently. While he's doing this, I'm going to see if I can find the last kill condition. So Weatherlight goes and removes a bunch of cards. Okay, so it was still Boom Mobile last time. So the idea with Boom Mobile is you sink 23 mana into it, so that's 2 in the red, and then X is the exhaust, and it just deals X damage to something. And you can find it off a Transit Mage also. So if I had to guess, that's probably what is going to kill us here. They have enough mana now, right? Or no, not quite, because they'd still need the mana to pay for it. There's Boom Mobile. So he's going to dump a bunch of mana into this. He'll reset with it on the stack, make a bunch more mana, and then he's going to feed all this into the exhaust ability, and then that's going to kill us. I'm going to help him out. I'm not going to make him keep clicking it. But we get booms there. 5 big booms. Okay, so I think we want 4 damping spheres. Wastecape's typically good into things that have artifacts and enchantments, but I don't think that we want that here just because they're kind of all in on hitting the channel. I really feel the same way about Thief, too. These bears are bad. And probably this Chrysalis. Because I don't think we want anything else. I mean, there's like a world where maybe we take out 2 Titans for Obligator just because it's like a 3-drop haste. I don't really hate that. We're really just kind of like all in on this damping sphere, though. That's kind of like the only way we're winning. I think. Because I don't want to give them time. I think that's actually what I'm going to do. Titan's just very expensive mana cost-wise in this matchup. Reveal Juggy. Okay, so... yeah, this hand is fine. This Eldrazi Temple isn't going to get the tap for 2 because of the damping sphere, but we also have a Soul Ring, so... we might get lucky too, and Aggregate might exile something neat. So we'll go... Forest... Soaring, Damping Sphere. So this really isn't going to buy us like too much time. I can look at the list and see what answers they have. I know that there was an adventure creature in the sideboard that did something with that. So we're actually going to go more in on a large endless one here first. This is a faster clock than the Aggregate. All right, can we do both here? 1, 2. Yes, we can do both. So we will play this. No, we can't do both because of the damping sphere. So what do we want to get in play first? I think the Aggregate's more important. So we're going to start combat attack for 4. So this next turn, this will last attack for 9. Okay, cycling. He still might be able to beat through damping sphere. Like, I think you hit a point where... okay, so he might be going for it now. Oh, he just had the channel. Okay. Okay, once again, we're going to have 6. We don't have anything. So he has Mirror. Because he can pay life for the tax effect from Sphere. It's just eventually you're going to be paying like 5 to 6 life just initially for all your spells. It's also just not the end of the world because he can hit the channel again. Okay, so he hit the sideboard card. So this is the one I was talking about. It's just a sorcery speed naturalize on an adventure. You must have boarded those in. I'm not sure. I didn't look closely at how many was in a sideboard. I was just mainly trying to see about the kill condition, but I know that you can wish for them, so... Man, finding these transit mages. Like, I know that there's like 4, but I feel like he's finding them pretty easy off the reset. I wonder how many step throughs there are. There's probably 4 step throughs. Step through, wizard cycling finds the transit mage. This probably finds Jewel. Oh, twin shot. Oh, maybe there's only 2 transit mages. Maybe Soul Guide Lantern would be good here too. It's probably not good enough. No, it's probably not good because it doesn't really tag anything meaningful in the yard. It doesn't put anything in there that matters. Like, it puts some of the cyclers in the step through, but then you just hit Transit Mage or one of these, you have a little bit better odds to draw them. Then this should be good enough because he'll make 4 red off of the ability, and then this is plenty good enough to kill us. So good game to Hadel. Like I said at the start of the video, this is pretty abysmal for any actual super linear combo. So even though we did have the turn 1 damping sphere and then some pressure, it's still kind of a little too slow for what the deck's doing. Spell Pierces and Inquisitions are a lot stronger into that type of style of deck, but we're not packing those because we're just trying to kill our opponents as quick as possible. So super sweet deck, though. It's one of the cool things you can do in Value Vintage. I know it's like an upcoming deck right now that a lot of people are talking about, so excited to show that on the video today. So GG's to Hadel. All right, now we have a match against Black Viper. I have not played against them before, but I know that they're pretty active in the online games. This hand is really close. We would have to top deck something cheap enough to play on 2 for it to really do anything impactful. Like, we're going like 3, 4, 5. Man, it's so close. I'm gonna mulligan now. We'll keep this, put one of these Titans on the bottom. Yeah, that starting hand is like so close. Like, if we draw anything that costs 3 or less, it pays off. But if we don't, then we're not doing anything until turn 3. Finale. My first thought was that this was Red-Green Delirium, but seeing Finale, I'm not too sure. I'm still not 100% sure what's going on, so I don't want to jam this bear yet. I'd rather keep it to potentially um, sack something. Finale's interesting. I don't know if this is like a Ruby Storm type deal. Okay, so maybe it is Red Green Delirium and they're playing Finale. Yeah, Finale's interesting. Another Titans. We're going to start by seeing if they want to offer a trade. Okay. I think we're actually just going to pick up Gigante here. A lot of fives in hand. Land off the top lets us bear. Make them sack a guy. It will turn on Delirium for them, though. It's just something to keep in mind. Okay, Delirium's already online then. Man, I just keep thinking about that starting hand. How close it was. If any of those fives are anything 3 or less. What's really funny about this too is like if we draw a temple, just like the rest of this game is kind of iced up. We just go like Titans into Titans. We have Bear to like pick off a guy if we need to, but even Soul Ring. Soul Ring's good because it lets us go like tap, Bear, ability, and then we're set up for Titans on the following turn. It's like a more red focused version of Delirium. Right, not terrible, so I'm gonna start combat attacking for 2. So it's unfortunate this is just gonna make him sack the token, but we don't really have another play right now. We can at least eat that. As of right now, too, we're not terrible in this race. We need an untapped land, or we just need any land off top. Or Vanguard. Soul Ring still works. If it's not that, something like Wumpus or Chrysalis is really good off the top. I mean, even a Line Breaker pushes through a lot of damage at this point. Since he hasn't actually played anything other than the Darcy, you know, having to attack in each turn with it means he's not blocking. He did keep Dreadhorde Arcanist, which blocks Reaver like fine. Candy Trail. Detective's Phoenix is a bit of a problem. If he has land for land Dreadhorde Detective's Phoenix, that makes me feel not too great. I'm wondering if the green is just for Rumble. Alright, land for Titans. Alright, aggregate is not a land. We get 2 in the air. Alright, so we do have aggregate now. It's a huge butt, so he would need Unholy Heat to kill it. This would be almost lethal with Titans. He's gone through almost half his deck. It's pretty crazy. See so many cards off Faithless Lootings. Okay, so we're finaleing for 1. So this Unholy Heat is killing the aggregate. It's probably a bad spot to be now. Yep, so that's gonna die. The Delirium deck just goes through so many cards. I think we're almost dead here. Because this is going to be 9 total. We'll go to 2. If he flashbacks Bolt, we can't win. Because the only thing that could keep us in would be Chrysalis. Because Bear can't block. So we'd be able to block one of the flyers next turn if he goes exactly for Bolt. If he goes for something else, then we still have game. Okay, he goes for Rumble. Crashing Footfalls. Hmm. All right, Herald is not going to do it. We cannot block these flyers. So I think we win with that first that first hand in that game. It's kind of tough though. Kind of awkward. So we definitely want the Soul Guides. Has a lot of graveyard stuff going on. These seem really good to bounce a lot of the threats early, especially if they have. I didn't see it. I mean, we saw half the deck, but that doesn't mean they're not playing Flytrap. I like Obligators for matchups that care about the board. What do we not like? Bear was kind of awkward there, but they also had fodder from the Rumbles. I like Chrysalis because it flies. Drone seems bad into a lot of what they have going on. I kind of like all this. Maybe we just play to be the better deck in the later game. Maybe Obligators aren't actually what we want then. Just play more of the Stompy beat down the slower deck. Just like this. Try it like that. So we're on the play. Reveal Jeggy Hill. I do like this hand. We'll keep it. I think it's Endless One into Aggregate into Herald. Aggregate seems kind of hard for them to answer outside of Unholy Heat. It's Suspended Footfalls. That's a good hit that lets us play that next turn. If we draw any non-temple land. This is also just a really strong curve because it lets us go like, if we draw like land, we can go like Chrysalis and a Vanguard. And we got Raptor. Okay, so he's doing like, so you can like Raptor into like Footfalls on Holy Heat. Okay. So this is going to let him kill the Endless One, but not the Aggregate. So totally fine there. Let's see what we get off the top. Right, land. Pretty good. Because now what this is going to let us do is Aggregate is going to get pretty beefy. The other nice thing is that next turn, if we don't draw land, we can sack one of the spawns to cast the Vanguard. We got to rumble out, so that's good. Just need to try to... Got 2 turns left on the Rhinos. Just got to keep applying pressure while we can. Because I imagine our turns are like next turn Vanguard and then Herald Bearer. Let's see what he hits. Another Rhinos here would be Darcy, I'm assuming. Okay. So he's putting a lot of guys in play. Fortunate thing is he's only got 1 card type in the yard. So he is amassing a board. I think ours is going to end up being bigger, though, which is good. Smashing. So what I like is... Alright, so we are going to attack with both of these. The Chrysalis doesn't have trample, but what it does is it forces him not to be able to throw everything in front of aggregate. It just kind of makes a bad situation here. Probably just put a Raptor in front of Chrysalis and then just eat the 5. Seems pretty hard for us to take enough damage this turn. And then next turn, depending on what the draw is, it's probably it that heralds, but it might just be Reality Smasher. Okay, so he's going to trade with the... Well, actually, if he does it like this, then we can sack the spawn and grow it and then not lose our Chrysalis. So you'd have to put everything in front of it. Okay, so this is going to be... We'll lose that mana, that's alright. That's a pretty good trade for us. He traded off almost his entire board for kind of nothing. And now I think if we get a land off top that it's easily just Reality Smasher just because of all the trample we have. Now that we've lost the token. If we don't, then it's just it that heralds and the trample might still just be good enough. I'm not drawing a lot of spells this game. Kind of fortunate for us. I don't think it's Soul Guide Lantern, but... I mean, how many types do they have? They have Creature, yeah. So this should be good enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to combat, swing out. There's 14 trample. You can soak up 5. So it's just one shy of lethal then, right? Or no. Oh yeah, it would have been exactly. Because you could soak up 3. So we'll post board. I don't really like changing anything there. I thought that our strategy was pretty good. Titans was pretty good there. I don't think we change anything. Yeah, we could cut like 2 smashers for Titans to try to like just build up a defensive board, but Smasher having haste is a big deal. Oh, deck, what is this? This would be the game 3 hand. I wish this was in paper so I could mulligan and then see the next card to see if I was right or wrong. We do get 2 draws, and we can play for the... I think it's a keep. I think it's a keep. If we draw anything but the forest or another temple, even another temple's fine because we actually just go like boom, boom, like we're keeping it. We're doing it for content. If they go turn 1 looting, we'll Soul Guide Lantern. If not, we'll play a threat. Looks like they're on a mulligan. Man, it's like so... It's like so close. Like if you replace literally like any of these cards with just any other non-temple land, it's great. Okay, hand is online. So now since they did that tap land to start, we're just gonna jam an Endless One on 2 to start. Depending on what they do next turn, we can go Line Breaker, or we can go Soul Guide Lantern, then one of these. This hand's panning out crazy. I wonder if it's a 1-lander. Alright, so we will do Eldrazi. And now since they didn't do anything proactive, we're going to pressure them. And this is the instance when I was talking about sideboarding where I didn't want to take line breakers out, because now that we're ahead, this is so much damage unanswered. So now next turn, we can go... We might just have lethal next turn. Okay, now they played an Amp Raptor, so it's not over. Oh my god, that's brutal. Alright, so we have a game now. So we're definitely on Chrysalis this turn. Ooh, Wumpus, though. Are you up? Who's upping their Wumpus right now? Alright, so... We could play Wumpus, bump it and attack, buff it and attack. If we do that, it's 9 damage. I mean, this is definitely happening. We could play Chrysalis. Chrysalis is like 2 defensive, though. And we're still at 20. I think we just jam. Because now what this does is it forces them to do something this turn. Like, even after these blocks. Like, if they were choosing to do nothing. Okay, so we're throwing both in front of it. See, this is fine. This is actually... This is going to let us recoup. Because I was afraid most of rhinos. So now that we got rid of one of them... Well, one copy, like a whole copy of Crashing Footfalls, I feel a lot better. If they build up Delirium this turn, we have the Soul God, as well as some other plays to surround it. Looks like we hit a Faithless Looting. Another land would be good here too, because we could do Chrysalis into Soul Guide Lantern if they set up Delirium. Only 3 types right now. Bauble gets it there. Oh yeah, we definitely want to do it because they have Phoenix in the yard. So hopefully a land. Endless one, okay. So I think we're playing the Soul Guide Lantern now, just hitting a Phoenix. Hitting a Detective's Phoenix, that is. And then I think we're going to play an Endless one for 3. So my reason for this is, like, I don't really want to play an Endless one for 1. It doesn't really do anything. Endless one for 3 at least blocks and attacks into Amped Raptor kind of okay. We'll just target this guy. I don't want to attack until we can get this Herald in play. Another Temple would be huge because that lets us be able to double these. I think we have very few bad draws at this point. Like, we have Lantern set up. They have very few cards in hand. So 3 types. If they ever get to Delirium, we'll pop this Lantern. Like in response to a Holy Heat or something. We just don't want to lose our board. All right, back to our turn. All right, Mountain is good. So now... All right, so... I think we're going to see what we can... what kind of play we can force out of him here. Because this is going to get buff 6. Yeah, so we're going to put this here. I'm going to throw both of these in. So the reason I'm doing this is because if I attack this, he has to throw 2 Amp Raptors in front of this to kill it. To kill this, he has to put... he could put 2 Amp Raptors in front of it, but if he does, then I sack both tokens and it's big enough to live. And it's not lethal, also, so like it's not like he needs to block, but if he doesn't, then like we most certainly should have lethal on the backswing. This is kind of a fine block, too. He would lose his Darcy. He can put both of these in front of Endless One and trade. Even then, we don't really hate that play too much. Yeah, that's what this looks like. And he loses his Darcy, and then we will... we're just going to pass. We can keep these tokens up in case there is a bolt. We have 2 ways to protect our guy. We have 2 tokens to sack. We also have the Soul Guide Lantern if there's Unholy Heat Delirium things going on. This is fine. If they do hit a Phoenix, it's not the end of the world because we're still pretty ahead on board. So they're probably going to pick up another Rumble, I would imagine. Maybe Candy Trail. So they picked up the Phoenix. Yep. End step will crack the Soul God. I don't think there's any reason not to at this point. Well, that's a pretty good draw. So we'll do this to start. All right, so I think we're just going to do this on itself. It has trample. So he can throw a lot of bodies in front of the Soul Guide. Or not, oh my god, not Soul Guide. In front of the Line Breaker. So we could like throw both of these in front of it. But we end up pushing through a lot of damage. At this point, we don't necessarily care about the haste anymore. We're just trying to win the board. He has no more targets for Dreadhorde in the yard. This looks like both Amp Raptors going in front, which is okay. So this would be 8 damage that he's taking, or a little bit less, actually. Yep, this is fine. All right, no cards in the yard, so I don't think we need to worry about getting the Soul Guide in play yet. So now we have a 3/3, really a 4/4 Endless One. I could play the Soul Guide by sacking one of the tokens, but we're pretty ahead on board, and he would need to have a really crazy turn here that I don't think that we need to care about that much. Because depending on the turn he has, he still has to clean up a lot of this board. So, yep, hard casting Detect this Phoenix. A lot of good draws. Reality Smasher is good here. Titans is good here. Another Line Breaker is really good. Does this thing have to attack? Okay, no, so he's just attacking. And Holy Heat our guy. That's gonna happen. So it's gonna nerf our tokens, which is okay. Remnant of Ruins is not the draw we want to see. We're also 1 mana off of picking up and casting Gigantha. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to... He's tapped down, so we can just attack with this. We could attack with the 3/3 Endless one, but he's not really low enough that it'll just get eaten. I like this attack here. All right, now what we'll do is we will get Soul Guide Lantern, eat the Unholy Heat, so we get some kind of value out of it. We'll pick up Jiggy Hill. We'll see what his turn looks like. This turn could just be a cycle of Soul Guide Lantern. We have access to a lot of mana, so... I would like to at least keep one of these spawns up, though, in response to a Bolt or a Unholy Heat. We also maybe don't want to get too zealous yet with the Soul God, just because he could start flashing back bolts with Dreadhorde to pick off our board. Our board is just small enough. He has all this mana up. I really don't want to be cracking this yet. Interesting. Let's see if we can bait. I'm going to sack this for the mana for Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. So we do have to exile something. Get rid of this one. We'll do the same play where we attack in. And so we want to kill these, assuming there's no funny trick here. And we'll draw a card with this. So he does have the bolt, okay. So he's going to eat our guy there. So we're not going to smash her this turn. We'll save it for next turn. Maybe he gets aggressive here, and we can win on the backswing. Because we really just need 8 damage. We have the Endless one and 2 5/5s right now. If he goes to combat... I can respond to this, right? When this creature attacks... I think we just want to do this now. This race is looking a lot closer than I thought it was earlier. He was able to kind of come back pretty well. That's the only play, though. And we're definitely still just going full Nigel. And this is a world where I think we swing out. Because the trample damage, every point will matter. So even the endless one. It's a certified math is for blockers moment. So like, let's say you don't block this at all. You can throw like here, here, here. Still go to 3, lose your whole board. Oh, no, sorry, you keep an Amped Raptor. But keep these 3 guys. It's probably best case scenario. Unholy Heat. Okay, so he's gonna shrink it to a 5/3 double block it. I still don't really hate that because we have the Herald that's in hand. And you have to block this with your Dreadhorde. Yeah. These Amped Raptors have been like brick walls. I was playing them in Rakdos Lyris at one point against Convoke, and they literally stonewalled the entire game. Nothing to cast from the yard, so he has one type off. Needs a sorcery or artifact or something like that. Probably doesn't want to attack, yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Can I do both? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can do both, right? Because this is the red green. Yeah, I can do both. Okay, so we recast this. And then probably not this. Probably just the 5/5. The reason I don't want to attack with both is because he can just trade off here, eat something else, and then like I lose like a pretty big guy to nothing. He just probably throws something in front of this. Next turn is almost assuredly lethal. I'll have the 5 attackers. I mean, Darcy's online now, but I wasn't really anticipating that block. If I thought maybe they were going to block like that, I would have attacked with the other endless one. Almost assuredly, like, Faithless. No, Faithless wouldn't even do it. Okay, kill that guy. Maybe get a Detective's Phoenix in the yard. No, it doesn't do it because it just comes back as an enchantment. I still think, I mean, this should be it. This should be game still. Because you have to attack with the Darcy. Used a lot of time this game, both of us. It's been a really long one. Go to 9. We get the match there, so pretty sweet showing. It's definitely a um more red-based version of Delirium instead of the red-green. It's still definitely very powerful, but I think we play a little bit larger on the board. The Amped Raptors are a sweet addition, and the Rhinos were kind of a pain as well, but definitely sweet version of red-green Delirium. To end the video, our final record was 4-1, losing to Channel Mirror while beating BlackGaak, Burn, 4-color Yorion, and red-green Delirium. We were able to showcase some of the strongest play the deck can make this league. Curving out with Soul Ring or Temple early to support costly threats is something that most decks in the format aren't prepared for. That being said, Hadel was able to steal a match from us since we weren't equipped to handle the hyperlinear combo decks, and we really can't be in this format for the budget. If Temple or Thought Seer gets a reprint, we could try to add the Seer to the list. Either way, I'm convinced that the deck is the real deal, and as long as your meta isn't all fast combo, where you should be playing a Spell Pierce deck anyway, this deck can really perform. If you liked the video or have something you wanted to share about the league, the recording, or the gameplay, please let me know below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.